Hello friends, chosen ones. Welcome back to the channel. In this transmission we're going to talk about what it means to shift, to awaken, and a little bit what happens afterwards. So we're going to get into that today. My name is Morten. I'm a starseed, shaman, mystic, and a light worker. I'm in the lineage of Marilyn and Mary Magdalene. I've been doing consciousness work for about 18 years, believe it or not, a long time. And I've gone through a lot of different things, and as you watch my videos you'll learn more about that, but suffice to say that I have shifted recently, about 5 weeks ago. And I'm sharing my experiences to inspire and to guide. So here we go. So I'm just going to talk a little bit what led up to my shifting, just to give some context. But I moved up into the north of Sweden, where I am now, in Åre, about 1 year, 8 months, something like that ago. And in that I really rooted myself in nature here. I did a lot of deep consciousness work over the past almost 2 years then, and got really rooted and really strong, and I developed my psychic abilities quite a bit here. And then 5 weeks ago, it really happened, you know. I became a new being entirely. It's it's a really special thing, you know. It's like not that I'm special, but what's coming through me is special, you know. That's really what this is about, you know. It's who is behind all of this. Not me, you know, not Morten in a sense. It's really God's work, guys. This is what I want to say. Here we are in the mountains with this beautiful fresh spring water and little quartz crystals scattered around like seashells on a beach. It's an amazing place. I love it here. Such a pure vibration, such a supportive vibration. And we're just like 3 kilometers away from the nearest town, so it's very special. I'm like realizing more and more what happened to me 5 weeks ago. It was really a huge turning point for me in terms of really being in a consistent kind of alignment, or being in alignment consistently, basically. To really be able to follow my passion and my dreams and like make these videos and talk about these things. And there's more coming, you know. I'm gonna make music and start businesses and do all kinds of things, you know. I have a lot of ideas, and you know, with all these connections that I have, you know, especially to God, Source, Universe, you know, I'm getting a lot of, it's like things that I've been dreaming about most of my life, but I never knew, you know, like I never knew the scope of these things, or I could never see it quite that clearly, you know, until now. So that shift is really stepping into the core of you, into your heart. So many spiritual teachings, they're so metaphysical and they're so, you know, left brain or whatever. They're very hard to grasp, you know, and it makes you just think and think and think. But that's not what this is about, guys. It's about faith. It's about aligning yourself and understanding that there is a higher power outside of you. And it's not a religious thing, it's not a sacrificial thing, it's a co-creative thing. You know, the bond you have with God, it's something really sacred, and it's something that has been stolen from us with all this confusion and all this sort of unworthiness and fear that's built up our society, you know. Not only, of course, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of care, don't get me wrong, you know. I don't want to get too negative, I tried to talk about the root of darkness in the video, and it just didn't resonate with my soul, you know. It's not so bad actually. But that's the beauty of YouTube. I can just keep making videos, and as I realize these things, and you know, as long as I'm open and honest with you guys, you will pick it up, you know. Like the darkness is serious when you believe in it, you know. When you get lost in it, when you live in it, you know, then it gets very serious. But it's not real. It's not who you really are. What you are and who you are is something divine. It's something really sacred and special and beautiful. See? And the darkness is just something that's been put on top, sort of like ashes on top of burning embers in a fire. Ah, man. There's a lot happening to me, and it's so hard to put it all into a little 20, 30, 40-minute video, you know. It's but I'm gonna try. So let's go. So I had the shift on the 24th of May this year, and it took me until the day after until I realized, like, oh, this is actually something permanent. This is not just like a high and then going, but no, this was a permanent shift. So, and it's, I really want to emphasize this. This is like a once in a lifetime thing. I don't think I'm ever going to have that kind of a shift again in my life. Maybe when I die, when I transition, there might be something similar happening, but I have a feeling like it's not going to be so dramatic as that shift that I had in my little cabin by the river 5 weeks ago. So leading up to that, I had really been purging a lot of things, relaxing for years. Been listening to Abraham Hicks about letting go and following your bliss and all this stuff, you know, but in a very, very deep sense, like to really follow your heart, to make those tough decisions, to move, to give up comforts, you know, and old habits and routines and relationships and a lot of things that were just not true to my heart. And it led me here. And all of this that's happening now. But it's a building up of faith. You know, you want to have faith in Source God, in the universe, faith in yourself, and that faith comes from that relationship. So faith is really central, but you have to realize this is like a higher form of faith. It's not something you paste on or you read about in a book or a scripture. Or no. Experience. It's from experience. It's from meeting the real you, who you really are, again and again and again, and playing with this being and asking for things and lining up with it and receiving it again and again until you have such a strong faith that you can just be yourself, you know. You don't have to hide anymore. You don't have to pretend. Don't have to be, you know, pushing things away that, you know, in a sense, you still have choices, of course. You're still free to choose and you're still free to go whatever way you want, but life becomes like a game, you know. It's not so serious anymore after you shift. It's, well, to be frank with you, to be honest and open about all this, like the week after I shifted was maybe the toughest week of my life. And I had to face some really deep fears and other things, which confusions maybe you could say, but the fears were the most powerful. So I'll tell you a bit about that, because that's right after I shifted. So in the first 2-3 days after I shifted, it was like amazing. I was like so blissed out, you know, like the Buddha under the tree, you know, like that kind of a wow, you know, like just sacred space where I was just taking it all in and realizing a lot of things that strengthened me, you know, like confirmations and a lot of misunderstandings. And so I just felt really blessed and really good. And after a few days, then God said, okay, now we bring it on. Now we bring on your fear. And I had to face like the deepest fear I've ever had in my life. And it's a really incredible thing what happened to me, okay? But I didn't like it, you know. God said, here's your fear. And I said, no, I'm not, this is not what I want. I don't want to face this, God, please, like, take it away. And, you know, and he would like gently show me, but no, you're ready. It's like, no, I'm not ready. Not for that, not for that. That can't be true, you know. And I was trying to control the situation with all I've learned about manifestation, and like, no, I'm gonna change the reality. And in that way I learned that no, there is actually a structure around us, a loving, supportive structure that you can't really mess too much with. Okay, so this is where we all need to mature a bit and realize like, okay, there is a higher power outside of us, many higher powers, but let's call it God, source, universe, to begin, to make it simple. And that power is here to support us in what we really want, okay? So what we really want is what's in our hearts. It's who we really want to be, okay? And all the things we want to have and so forth, experiences and things and relationships and whatever it is. But when you ask God for these things, He will not just give it to you. He will transform you, okay? He will transform you so that you can enjoy it when you receive it, all right? So my path, especially as you know, in the last year or so, has been a lot about taking a few steps forward and then getting some rewards and then being stretched, you know. And stretching can be sort of painful, but as you get to know this process, it's like it gets really like you get so much trust, and then you can really face these deeper layers of fear and unworthiness and whatever it is, you know. So, and I mean, I was really terrified, guys. Like, I worked as a nurse for 10 years, and I've seen many people die, actually die, in palliative care. I've seen young people die, old people die, and there's some kind of smell, okay? Not like from the dying body, but just after somebody died, there's like this very sour, stinky smell. Not always, but a lot of the time. And what that is the sweat you sweat when you're really afraid. Okay, sorry, I mean, if this is upsetting you, but I need to share this, okay? This is important because you need to somehow know the reality of what I've been through, okay? It's not just like a fairy tale, happy-go-lucky kind of thing, this stuff. It's really a deep work. But there's always like this loving awareness underlying everything. See, I would never be put into that situation if God didn't think I was ready, okay? So that's why this shift, this awakening, it's a gift. And it will be given to you when you're ready. Have faith that it's coming. And if you're watching this and you're fascinated and you're eager, you know, maybe you feel a bit scared right now, that's okay, you know. I've felt fear a lot during this journey, a lot, trust me. But you realign yourself with this source of love, and it will reveal itself to you in incredible ways. And that gives you strength, that gives you courage. And then you keep moving, but you go in baby steps, always like, and then sometimes God will see you ready and He will like give you a little more than a baby step. But like, it's not, for me at least, but I've been very careful, you know, especially working with psychedelics and meditation and these things. I learned, like I started with meditation when I was 19. I'm 37 now. And I was always like, by my teachers and so forth, I was always instructed like how the seriousness of this work and how important it is to be in a supportive environment and feeling safe and on and on and on. There's so many things that if you're gonna get into these deeper things, then you really need to build a structure around yourself, or have a structure around yourself. And we can get into that. If you guys are interested in this, like comment in the comments, I'll make more videos about it, okay? But so I was in a really safe place, and with so much 18 years of experience of this kind of stuff, like really deep awakenings and so forth. So God said, you're ready. Okay, so here it is. And so I had those sweats, okay? That's what I want to get to. I like, after the fear went away, okay, so I was just sitting there on my couch just being like, okay, wow, you know, what happened to me? And I would just smell that smell, like, gosh, that smells like, you know, when someone died, you know. And and it's the fear. That's how fear smells like, okay? When they say they can smell your fear, it's like that's very like sour, stinky, sweaty smell. Now you know. So I had to have a shower after that because that was way too much. But man, after that, man, then I wasn't the same, you know. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna make videos, I'm gonna do this, that, and everything started flowing, like, oh, so beautifully flowing, because that was really what was keeping me from making videos. It's like fear from being crucified, you know, literally crucified. So I went through this whole process with God, you know, and he showed me like, no, don't be afraid, you know, people are gonna hate on you, but all you haters out there, I see you. Oh, I see with the eyes of God now, you see? You all look so innocent and so beautiful. You're so sweet, you know, in all your unconsciousness and unworthiness, and I just feel it in my heart so much. It's like, my gosh, you know. And in the past few days too, like I had this protection around me in the past few years, especially also in Vipassana. There's a lot of protection, there's a lot of like keeping to yourself and meditating a lot, and you know, really creating boundaries, all these things, and they are important when you're pre-shifting, okay? So very important here that we're talking about after shifting now, not pre-shifting. Pre-shifting is a different thing, and you can watch all my other videos. It's mostly about before the shift, okay? And that's where most of you guys are, so watch those. And now I'm talking about after shifting. So what's happening to me now is that I don't need those boundaries anymore, okay? Not the same way, at least. I still enjoy my peace and quiet, you know, but I don't need it anymore. Not the same way. And a lot of things actually that I don't need anymore. It's like a very freeing feeling. I have become something completely different. I'm so spacious. There's such a spaciousness in me and around me. Like people come to me with all kinds of things, and I can, for the first time in my life, just sit there and be like, wow, look at you, you know, where you are and all your things you've been through, and it's amazing, you know, it's amazing. And I see the soul. I feel the frequency of the soul and what it really wants, you know. And it's like, it's almost too much, but it's I mean, I'm just happy, you know. It's not too much. It's just, wow. I didn't know that it was possible to hold this frequency, like, and be with people again and again and again, and not take it personally, not run away, you know. Like, being here, just talking about this even, it's like, it's completely unimaginable to me, like 2 months ago, like doing what I'm doing right now. And that's the shift. It's like really living in your heart and from your heart, in your deepest soul. So you're in alignment with your very highest timeline, you know, your very truest, highest self. And this is what it looks like. This is what it feels like. It's amazing. It's the best gift you could ever receive. And everything else pales in comparison to this, okay? Because the way I can see the world now, and yes, all my senses are heightened. Since I shifted, my vision is almost a little bit psychedelic. My emotions are very sensitive. I'm picking up morphic fields from within my own family, morphic fields from, you know, ancestral and community and country, I mean, world, earth, all kinds of things, and galactical even, to some degree. I mean, when it's the time for it, okay? These things don't just bombard you all the time. Because again, there is intelligence around us, all around us, divine infinite intelligence. And when you start looking into what the divine infinite intelligence really is, I mean, this is God essentially, but what is it, you know? It's a loving, powerful force that wants the best for us, but we don't know always what's the best for us, see? That's where we have to have faith, but we have to have faith in the right things, not to look for love in all the wrong places, see? So here we are. Here's a really beautiful area. The stream that goes under the road here continues And this is a place where I've found quite a bit of bear markings. They're old, but they're kind of cool, so I'm going to show you. When you get in touch with Mother Nature and you're in nature a lot, you learn a lot about nature. You start seeing animal trails, and especially when you work with psychedelics, you get to see a lot of things that are hidden to the human eye. But they come out, and there are beings like elemental beings, and there are spirits, like the winter spirit, for example, and so many others. So here, guys, you see these? Let me see if I can. Yeah, so these are like the claws have gone in here, you know, like this, and you can see how deep that goes. And there are other ones here too. But this is, I don't know, a couple of years maybe, but I've seen fresh, really fresh ones too. But anyway, exciting, huh? Makes you like look twice when you go up on the road. I've never seen the bears. They are very shy here in Sweden. It's kind of rare to see them, but they are here. Brown bears. They're pretty big and very powerful. Anyhow. So after your shift, you're not gonna have the same worries you had before. But life continues. It's a new beginning. It's not the end at all. There's way too much confusion about all of this, and that's why I'm making this video, because I want you guys to have more clarity and a proper thing to look for. There's something important that happened to me maybe, I don't know, a few months before I shifted, like 5-6 months, maybe a little more before I shifted. I met someone, or there was a guy who reached out to me who actually also had shifted just a bit before me then. And he told me that enlightenment is real, okay? Awakening is real. This permanent shifted consciousness, it's real. And he proved to me by his presence and what he had become that, yeah, okay, this is something else. I have not been in this kind of state where he is in, okay? And before that, of course, in Vipassana, the goal is enlightenment, you know, ultimately. But I feel like I got lost in all the service and all the giving and the courses and Vipassana center management and all these things. And frankly, I met a lot of teachers in the Vipassana circles, and I haven't met anyone who I really felt was awakened, you know. I mean, the very, very amazing people. Don't get me wrong, especially the Swedish teachers that was there in the early days of the Vipassana Center. I don't know now anymore. Haven't been involved with it for many years, but I mean, some of the best people I've met in my whole life, you know, and they gave me so much. I mean, structure, support, and foundational work. I mean, amazing, amazing. I'm not here to condemn any of it, you know. If you are interested in that and you want to do that, that's all good, you know. Just yeah, it's a really heart-wrenching topic for me, because I felt like after that I had to really purge a lot of the stuff that they taught me, and it took years, and I was kind of angry at first, but I have forgiven everything now, because I understand, you know. I see through it, but you know, I have to be honest with you guys, because I don't want you guys to get lost in the theory of it and in the system of it, okay? Because you don't need that, you know. If you're listening to this and you're resonating with this frequency, what I'm carrying right now, you don't need that, okay? You can do a 10-day retreat, enjoy it, you know. It will give you something. If you haven't done it before, you know, that's great, but really try to stand on your own 2 feet, you know. That's just a small advice. I think that could save you years, to be honest. It's yeah, anyway. So the fact that he told me that, this guy who I met or talked to 6 months ago or so, the fact that he told me that enlightenment is real, that made me like, oh, okay, it's really real. Because after my Vipassana experience, I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't met anyone who's really, how I know, like, is awakened. And I went to India on a pilgrimage for 6 weeks, and Myanmar, Burma for like a month or something. And I went around, I went to all the teachers, different places and stuff. And I could see that these were really very, very pure beings, you know, very, very well-intending beings, pure beings that had done a lot of good work. And, you know, it was a wonderful vibration everywhere where I went, you know, and that speaks a lot, what you feel when you're there. So yes, they have done something amazing, but to where I am now, like, that stuff wouldn't get me here. I don't believe so, you know, at least not to this very empowered state which I'm in right now. And this is not ego, guys. This is like, my ego does not want to do this, okay? My ego would rather, you know, watch a movie or something, but those days are over, to hide and not to talk, because I have changed, you know. I really have. So I'm allowing this to reach through me. It's like I'm just saying, okay, whatever needs to come through, I'll let it through. And this is on a very energetic level. So I'm just sort of feeling, okay, this is what wants to be said, now let it be said. And that's why I'm laughing all the time, because this is such a relief, you know, after 18 years of all this suppression and don't say this and don't do that and blah, blah, blah. Now it's just like, okay, but here and now, what's going on here and now, and what does the people watching, or the souls that are like here to feed, you know, like, man, there's so little nutrition in this world. What do they need, okay? So again, if you're watching this, I don't think you're far from shifting, you know, like the kind of frequency in this video, and especially if you're watching this far in, like you are well on your way. Maybe you have already shifted, you know, some of you probably have. So then what the download I got from God, like yesterday, was that I am constantly underestimating myself. So I need to understand that not everybody is gonna have this kind of a journey what I've had, you know, especially after shifting, because for me it's been kind of smooth in a way. Like, yes, it's been very, you know, a lot of things coming up, but they get purified, like, you know, really easily. Not that I don't, you know, it's a labor of love, you know, it really is, but it does, like, it takes a few hours a day and then boom, like I'm on the next thing, you know, like, and I don't think that's going to happen for all of you. I think, and also from what I've heard from some people who've shifted, there is a lot of spiritual attacks that will happen, a lot of like tests, but those tests, they're for you to integrate, okay? You already shifted, so it's like you're ready to deal with all this stuff. You just have to like let go of the old you, you know? You thank the old you, you welcome the new you, and you say, this is now my frequency, okay? Powerful mantra if you're just shifted or are about to shift, or no, if you just shifted, yeah. You welcome the new you, and this is your new frequency, you know? Thank the old you, be grateful, you know, all that old stuff we did, that we had to do that, otherwise we wouldn't be where we are. But it's really a time for integration and for understanding and reflection. So you got to give yourself time to do this stuff, you know. And if you're caught up in the matrix, I mean, you're probably not if you're shifted, you know, like I doubt it. I'm not really sure what to say to you because I haven't really met you. You know, I've talked to a few of you, but you know, please write in the comments, help me understand where you are, because you know, I'm sharing where I am and I need to have something to relate to give you some kind of help, you know, or guidance. But I know I'm doing really well, you know, and God is telling me so, like, yeah, you know. So the key is to realize what happened to you and to allow these kind of energies to move through you, and to discern, you know, and to see all the nuances, you know, and to really go deep into these things and not get, you know, there might be some things, I don't know if you have to heal things after you shift, but maybe, you know, maybe it's just some confusion or something. Like I see it in some, you know, a lot of anger, and I don't know, maybe there's nothing wrong with that anger, but to me it's like, it's not who I don't resonate so much with that, like being angry. And because to me it's all like, it's like beautifully orchestrated, like all these, I mean, endless lives, trillion and billion and gazillion of lives and of souls and of and it's all like together in this universe, you know, of things and experiences and different planes of existence, and everything is just sort of seamlessly balancing together. I mean, it's like, I'm just in awe, like to be angry about that, like, yeah, I don't get it. You know, yeah, there is a lot of suffering in the world, but you know, everyone is on their own path, and we all have to sort of, I mean, that's also faith. I think ultimately that's faith, you know, that's deepening your faith. And I'm still deepening my faith, you know, in some practical ways, like financially. And there's a lot of things that I've been really worried about in the past. I wouldn't say I'm worried, but it's like, okay, how are we going to deal with this? But it's always the same answer, guys. Relax. Relax, relax, relax. You don't have to do the work, okay? That work, you have to just align. Just align, align, align. And try to see the bigger picture. Try to see through the eyes of God, you know, and things will get so much easier. But please let me know where you're at, you know, if you're pre-awakening, post-awakening, and what all this does to you, for you. I'm really excited, and I'm seeing this channel is growing, you know. There's more and more people tuning in, so I'm really excited to hear more from you guys. So yes, and if this really resonates with you, if you feel really home here, then please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with someone if you think they resonate. And if you would want to donate to this cause, this mission, then there's a link in the description below. And I really appreciate your support. So, here we are. It's all good. You'll see, like, things will clear up at some point. Like, if you have awakened and it's confusing, I mean, I totally get that. The past 5 weeks, the first week was very, very difficult, and I can imagine for some that would be maybe a couple of months or maybe even longer, I don't know. But for me it was about a week. Then I started just making videos, and I had this kind of honeymoon period for like 3 weeks where I was in Norway and having a great time. And now the last week again, been working through some stuff, but it's like, it's not like the first week, not even close. There's like some, yeah, but now I'm like seeing where it's coming from and how it's all fitting together. So yeah, the work will always continue. Like, we are eternal beings, and the reason for that is because what we otherwise do, we just sit and have like an endless orgasm for eternity, you know. I think, yeah, that might be nice for a while, but come on, guys, like, this is it. This is heaven right here. So all right, I love you guys. All the best.